Hey guys, the Bears fan 06 here today for you. Trial X4. So these are the units going to be taking here. So we had Trident, Melchio, Arc, who I forgot his second sphere, which terrible, but I did. Bestie and Elmo. Elmo has the RC5 Mission 10 BC sphere and Drevis, which was right there. And the friend we take is Ackerman. We take, because I take Gazia's Virtue Stone. We do one team here. So far, for the most part, this trial is fairly easy. I think the hardest part is actually beating X3, getting to X4. It seems if you have Trident and Xenia as your leads, it's fairly easy. I actually didn't look up anything on this trial itself. I just went with it. It came out while I was at Comic-Con, so I ended up trying it later that night. I ended up beating it. Nothing saved, so I didn't get the unit, so I actually had to beat it again. So this is actually my third time beating this. So when I got home today, I decided to record it real quick. So basically, it's two battles, but it's one battle, but two forms. So after you take Gazia down to 0, he does transform into his other form. Things to watch out for from what I learned. I still haven't looked at the guide. I'll find the Reddit guide and post it in the comments if you want to look at it. But he paralysis, it's very rare. He will stealth, which when he does stealth, I use mitigation and guard all the units. He will do reflect damage as well, which you have to watch out for. With the reflect damage, I attack everyone except Trident and Elmo, and then after they're done attacking and they go down to 1 HP, I use Trident, and then I use Elmo for the heal them back up. You want to save Elmo for the end after the damage because you don't want to use her first and then they have 1 HP and only get some crystals back. I think maybe I did that once or something like that, and it didn't hurt me too bad, but yeah, it does happen. So for the most part, I use Xenia's UEBs for almost the whole fight. In the part 2, I do use Trident and Xenia, so I use both. I use Hero Crystal to use Trident. Probably didn't need to use it, but we'll see here later. So there is damage over time, as you can see. So he did stealth here, so this is where I guard and then mitigate. Is it necessary? Probably not, depending on your team and how much HP and everything, their stats and stuff. So it might not be fully necessary, but I recommend it. It's one turn. Plus, also with the stealth, I don't think you can hit him with. You can't. I don't know. I don't even attack him. I forget how the stealth works on the opponent. But really, the best thing to do is just guard. There is apparently some thresholds. I think there's one on his second form at like 15%, but for the most part, it's not too, like I said, it's not too dangerous, at least if you have the right units, it seems, which makes it a little bit easier. Like I said, Trial X3 is the harder part. Let me see about the guide. Let's pull it up here. Just take a look. Unit itself, let's go over him. He's pretty freaking sweet. So Trial X4. So cost 45, stats 68, 50 HP, 2650 attack, 2650 defense, 2050 recovery. Imps total is 1100 HP, 440 attack, 440 defense, 440 recovery. Leader skill 35% to all stats, 10% damage mitigation, 10% guard mitigation, 4000 hot for 1 turn on guard, so heal over time, and extra skill 5% damage reduction from all enemies, plus 4 BC on BB and SBB. Brave Burst is 22 hit AoE, 50% mitigation for 1 turn, 60% attack to defense for 3 turns, 4 BC / guard buff for 3 turns. Super Brave Burst, 32 hit AoE based on remaining HP, 50% mitigation for 1 turn, 60% plus 60% defense to attack for 3 turns, plus 300% BB modifier for 3 turns. Ultimate Brave Burst, 40 hit, AoE based on HP remaining, 75% mitigation for 2 turns, 10,000 HP Dark Barrier, which is pretty nice as well overall. Evolution match, you do need a Light Mecha God, Miracle Totem, 2 Light Totems, and you do need a Legend Stone. So you do need a Legend Stone, so you will need 8,000 points. So want to take a look at that and save up, because unfortunately some people might not quite have the Legend Stone handy on them. So let's take a look. Don't see a guide. Here it is, the guide. So I'll post this as well. So Form 2 at 80% and 40% HP threshold should do the same thing as a 50% HP threshold in Form 1. He'll give himself a stealth for 1 turn, then uses multiple elemental AoE nuke. So you got the nuke. 90 and 50% he'll buff wipe and end his turn, then do a multi-elemental AoE and end his turn again. 20% he'll attempt to cause the Holocaust, but it can't kill any units. It will, however, bring them down to 1 HP. He ends his turn afterwards. Only happens once at 30% threshold. Sequence ends. So he does summon some minions. Below 50% he'll cast Mind Wreck randomly. Below 20% he'll cast Talon of Pain randomly. Above 50% he keeps the same Solar Wave Psionic Blast timer as before. So I'll post this as well. Some of the minions do some stuff. It's not a huge deal. To be honest with you, I thought this fight would be a little bit harder, and it turned out not to be, sadly. But overall, it was fun. Definitely fun because I like when we have trials and stuff like that aren't on Japan. There was the down to 1 HP, one of those. So it's nice because then we don't know what to really do. Although they haven't been as much of a trouble as we'd like them. Now I think the main issue is we have. I think the main issue is we have so many overpowered exclusive units. I think that's the main issue. If they make the trial too hard, then the people that didn't get lucky, like free-to-play players and stuff like that, would have a really hard time if they didn't get those units and they didn't get lucky. So I think that's the issue. They kind of got to find a balance, and it's a little bit hard to find a balance because some people have all the units, some people don't. Some people, it can be hard to get some of these units, like Xenia and Trident and stuff like that. So people can have a hard time with them, and then if you don't have those units, it can be fairly difficult. Elmo makes everything massively easier, but so does Trident and Xenia as well. I mean, both of those units are amazing and make everything quite a bit easier. So now if you don't have those units, yes, it can be more difficult. I will try this trial here probably in a little bit, maybe with a little bit different setup. Try it without global exclusives. So we'll see how that goes. I'll try that here soon. I wish I had Griff. Really wish I had Griff and Roa, and I could take one of those as a friend, but I can't take both because I don't have both. So that makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I would like to revisit this without the global exclusives. So maybe we'll work on that here sometime soon. For the most part, fairly easy trial, at least for me it was. I know some people are going to have some problems with it, but for the most part, a lot of people on my friends list I've seen already have them. So it didn't seem too difficult for them. So, but yeah, that's the trial there. And then I'll show you the unit too. Mine's already finished. I used a bunch of all M's on them, so got them all set up there. Alright, here he is. So I put Oculate, Treasure, and Hershey orb on him for right now. But yeah, alright guys, we'll see you later.